Ryan Garcia has fooled the people.
You guys, I'm mental. Yeah, I'm a little mental, but I'm ready to destroy my.
Ryan Garcia was supposed to become boxing's next global superstar.
I signed the biggest deal in prospect history. I couldn't be happier right now.
He had the speed, the knockouts, the looks, the viral clips, the millions of followers. Everything about Ryan Garcia looked perfectly designed for modern fame. But somewhere along the way, the internet stopped watching him as a boxer and started watching him like a car crash. One minute, he was knocking people out in sold-out arenas. The next, he was live streaming bizarre conspiracy theories, spiraling on social media.
And yes, I'm running for president. I'm not even kidding. This one, hey, I'm gonna take a toast to all the haters.
Accusing powerful people of terrifying things, beefing with influencers, getting suspended, failing drug tests, and watching his entire reputation collapse in front of millions of people online.
I got multiple personalities, bitch!
This is gonna be
and you don't want to see the crazy ones!
And the craziest part, right in the middle of all that chaos, he somehow delivered the greatest performance of his entire career. That's why Ryan Garcia's story is so fascinating. Because depending on who you ask, he's either a mentally broken athlete destroyed by fame, a master troll manipulating the internet, or a superstar completely surrounded by the wrong people. But none of this happened overnight. Long before the meltdowns,
Y'all weren't talking about Mike Tyson when he was like this. Y'all respect him now, right? Okay then, so you're gonna respect me. I seen some shit I should have never seen.
the failed drug tests,
I drink and I smoke, and so has the majority of this room.
and the public humiliation. Ryan Garcia was just a kid carrying the pressure of an entire family on his back, and that pressure would eventually change everything. Before Ryan Garcia became one of the most famous fighters on earth, he was just a skinny kid from Victorville, California, trying to fight his way out of poverty. And boxing wasn't some casual hobby in his household, it was survival. Ryan's parents sacrificed almost everything to support his career.
We had, at one point, we were in like a one bedroom house with like 5 kids, and my mom's the only one working.
His father worked constantly while still training him, and his mother handled the business side because the family genuinely believed Ryan could become their way out. That kind of pressure changes people early, especially when you're told from childhood that failure isn't really an option. Ryan started boxing incredibly young and quickly became one of the best amateur fighters in the country. But even during those early years, people around him noticed something intense about him. He hated losing more than most fighters. Not normal competitive anger. Obsession. If Ryan felt disrespected, overlooked, or doubted, he carried it personally. Coaches, judges, opponents, online comments, it all stayed in his head. And as his amateur career grew, so did that chip on his shoulder. There were controversial losses. Decisions he believed were unfair. People questioning whether he was truly elite or just another flashy prospect with speed. That frustration slowly built into a dangerous mindset. Ryan didn't just want to win. He needed to prove people wrong constantly. And that's important because later in his career, almost every major mistake Ryan made came from that same emotional pressure to silence criticism immediately. Even as a teenager, he was already addicted to validation. But then social media entered the picture. And suddenly Ryan Garcia wasn't just a boxer anymore. He was becoming an internet celebrity before he had even won a world title. This is where Ryan Garcia's career became completely different from almost every boxer before him. Because Ryan wasn't built by traditional boxing first. He was built by the internet. Around the late 2000s and 10s, clips of Ryan hitting pads and knocking people out started exploding online. Millions of people who had never watched boxing suddenly knew who he was. The speed looked unreal. The left hook looked deadly. And most importantly, he looked marketable. That changed everything. Ryan started gaining followers at a ridiculous pace across Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. He wasn't just attracting boxing fans anymore. Teenagers, influencers, celebrities, and casual audiences were all becoming obsessed with him. And while older boxing fans hated it, promoters absolutely loved it. Because Ryan Garcia was proving something terrifying about modern sports. You no longer needed championships first to become famous. You could become famous before proving yourself. That instantly created tension around him. Hardcore boxing fans started accusing him of being more influencer than fighter. Critics said he cared too much about social media. Former champions questioned whether he was truly dedicated to the sport. Even other fighters looked annoyed by how fast he was rising. And honestly, some of their frustration made sense. Ryan was getting superstar attention before fighting elite competition. But instead of ignoring the criticism, Ryan became obsessed with fighting against it publicly. Every interview started sounding defensive. Every criticism became personal. Every doubter became motivation. That's when the internet slowly stopped being his biggest weapon and started becoming a psychological trap. Because social media rewards emotion, and Ryan Garcia was becoming one of the most emotional athletes in boxing. But behind the scenes, another problem was growing fast. The people making money from Ryan Garcia were starting to realize just how valuable he had become. Once Ryan Garcia signed with Golden Boy Promotions, everything accelerated. The money got bigger, the fame exploded, and suddenly Ryan wasn't just a prospect anymore. He was being marketed as the future face of boxing. At first, it looked perfect. He was knocking people out viciously, growing millions of followers online, and headlining massive events while still barely in his early 20s. But behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. Ryan started feeling like people only cared about him as a product, not a person. And one of the first major warning signs came after his brutal knockout over Romero Duno. Instead of celebrating the win, Ryan later hinted that relationships behind the scenes were becoming toxic. He felt controlled, pressured, used. At the same time, expectations around him became completely insane. Fans wanted knockouts every fight. Promoters wanted constant activity. Social media wanted entertainment 24/7. And Ryan mentally started breaking under all of it. Then came the moment that changed public perception forever. Ryan pulled out of a scheduled fight, citing mental health struggles. Some fans supported him immediately. Others absolutely destroyed him online. People accused him of ducking opponents. Critics claimed he cared more about Instagram than boxing. Older fighters mocked him publicly. And things got even uglier when tension started growing between Ryan and trainer Eddie Reynoso's camp. Reynoso publicly criticized Ryan's discipline and commitment, which shocked fans because that camp also included Canelo Alvarez. Suddenly, Ryan looked isolated. The boxing world started turning on him. And from Ryan's perspective, it probably felt like everybody he trusted was abandoning him the second things became difficult. That's when his behavior online started becoming more emotional, impulsive, and unpredictable. But even with all the chaos surrounding him, Ryan still believed there was one fight that could silence everybody instantly. And that fight would completely change his life. The moment Ryan Garcia officially agreed to fight Gervonta Davis, the entire boxing world exploded.
Yeah, Instagram fighter. We don't worry about him.
This wasn't just another big fight. It was the fight. Two undefeated superstars, massive social media audiences, endless trash talk.
I'm gonna break your jaw, I promise you. Don't even bring your mother or your daughter. Don't bring them, I'm telling you.
Millions of casual fans suddenly paying attention to boxing again. And Ryan genuinely believed this was the moment he would prove everyone wrong forever.
When he is knocked out cold, face first, I am going to pray for him.
But behind the scenes, the situation was already becoming dangerous. One of the biggest controversies involved the rehydration clause in the contract. Ryan had to make a difficult weight limit and then couldn't fully rehydrate afterward the way fighters normally do. Many fans later argued the deal heavily favored Tank, and physically, Ryan looked drained. Then reports started surfacing that he was dealing with injuries during camp, including issues with his ribs. But Ryan refused to slow down because pulling out would have destroyed him publicly. That's the thing about Ryan Garcia. He seems terrified of looking weak, even when his body or mind clearly needs rest. So he kept going. Fight night finally arrived, and early on, Ryan actually had moments of success. He landed hard shots and created real excitement. But eventually, Tank started timing him. Then came the liver shot. One punch, Ryan dropped to one knee, and the internet immediately turned ruthless. People called him soft. Memes flooded social media. Fans accused him of quitting. Critics said the influencer boxer experiment was finally over, and the humiliation got worse because chaos immediately followed after the fight. Oscar De La Hoya was barely around Ryan afterward. Rumors of internal drama exploded. Fans noticed strange tension between Ryan and his team. It felt like everybody disappeared the second he lost. That's when something inside Ryan seemed to completely snap. Because after the Tank Davis loss, his public behavior became more bizarre than ever before. And people started wondering if boxing was the only thing falling apart in his life. After the Gervonta Davis loss, Ryan Garcia's life started spiraling publicly in ways nobody expected, and it happened fast. One minute, Ryan was posting motivational comeback messages. The next, his entire personal life seemed to be collapsing online in real time. Not long after announcing the birth of his son, Ryan also revealed he was getting divorced. Fans were confused immediately because the timing looked chaotic. Then the interviews started getting stranger. There was the infamous lotion in the hair clip, where people genuinely thought he looked completely detached. Random live streams became unpredictable. Some moments felt funny, others felt uncomfortable. Then came the constant online beefs. Ryan started arguing with influencers, fighters, celebrities, basically anybody. Jake Paul, Bryce Hall, Sean O'Malley, even actors and random public figures somehow got dragged into his orbit. At first, people thought Ryan was trolling for attention, but eventually the behavior became way darker. He started posting emotional breakdowns online at strange hours. Fans noticed paranoid behavior. Some live streams became genuinely difficult to watch because Ryan looked exhausted, emotional, and disconnected. Then came the conspiracy claims. Ryan suddenly started talking about elites, secret societies, kidnappings, and bizarre stories involving places like Bohemian Grove. The internet completely exploded. Some people thought he was exposing hidden truths. Others believed he was having a mental breakdown in front of millions of people. Even people close to him publicly asked fans to pray for him. That's when the conversation around Ryan Garcia changed permanently. People stopped asking, "Can he become a champion?" and started asking, "Is Ryan Garcia okay?" But somehow, right in the middle of complete public chaos, Ryan Garcia was about to pull off the most shocking moment of his entire career. By the time Ryan Garcia agreed to fight Devin Haney, almost nobody believed in him anymore. Seriously. The boxing world thought Ryan was finished. He looked mentally unstable online, his reputation was damaged, and Haney was considered one of the most technical fighters in the sport. And Ryan's behavior during the build-up made things even worse. He showed up late to events, posted bizarre videos, acted completely unpredictable in interviews. At one point, people genuinely wondered if the fight would even happen. Most fans assumed Haney would easily outbox him. But then the fight started, and everything changed. Ryan looked fast again, sharp, focused, dangerous. He dropped Haney multiple times and completely shocked the boxing world. Suddenly, the same people mocking him weeks earlier were speechless. Even crazier, Ryan revealed he had made millions betting on himself. For one night, it looked like he had pulled off the greatest comeback imaginable. Fans started asking a new question. What if Ryan Garcia was never actually broken? What if all the chaos was part of some giant performance? But just as Ryan finally seemed to reclaim his career, everything collapsed again. Only days after Ryan Garcia shocked the world against Devin Haney, disaster hit again. Reports surfaced claiming Ryan had failed drug tests. And instantly, the entire narrative changed. Instead of celebrating one of boxing's biggest upsets, fans were now debating whether the victory was legitimate at all. Ryan denied everything immediately. He blamed contaminated supplements, attacked testing organizations, and claimed people were trying to destroy him on purpose. But the damage was already done. The boxing world turned toxic overnight. Haney's team pushed the cheating accusations aggressively. Critics said Ryan's entire comeback was fake. Social media exploded with nonstop arguments, and Ryan only made things worse with his behavior online. The live streams became more reckless. The tweets became more offensive. At one point, even longtime supporters started distancing themselves because the controversy was becoming impossible to defend. Then came the suspension. Suddenly, Ryan Garcia wasn't being discussed as boxing's next superstar anymore. he was becoming known more for chaos than accomplishments. Sponsors disappeared. Fans split into different camps. Some believed Ryan was self-destructing publicly. Others believed powerful people wanted him silenced. But almost everybody agreed on one thing. Ryan Garcia had officially become one of the most controversial athletes on the internet. After months of non-stop controversy, Ryan Garcia slowly disappeared from the spotlight. And honestly, a lot of people thought his career was over. Too many scandals, too many public meltdowns, too much damage to his reputation. But Ryan has always been dangerous when people count him out. When he finally started training seriously again, fans noticed something different. The social media chaos slowed down. The focus seemed sharper. Even his attitude looked calmer. And when he returned to the ring, people were surprised. The speed was still there. The timing looked cleaner. And for the first time in a long time, Ryan actually seemed disciplined. That's what makes him so confusing. Every time it feels like he's completely destroyed his career, he somehow pulls people back in again. Even now, boxing fans still can't fully decide what Ryan Garcia actually is. A mentally struggling athlete? A social media addict trapped by fame? A master troll manipulating the internet? Or a genuinely elite fighter surrounded by chaos? Because the truth is, Ryan Garcia still has superstar talent, but talent has never really been his biggest problem. The real battle has always been everything happening outside the ring, and with Ryan, that chaos never seems too far away. At the end of the day, Ryan Garcia's story feels less like a normal boxing career, and more like watching someone try to survive fame in real time. Because Ryan didn't just become a fighter. He became an internet celebrity, a meme, a controversy machine, and a non-stop headline before he was emotionally prepared for any of it. Every mistake happened publicly. Every breakdown became content. Every strange moment turned into millions of views overnight. And that kind of pressure destroys a lot of people. What makes Ryan Garcia so fascinating is that nobody fully understands him anymore. One moment he looks completely out of control. The next, he steps into the ring and reminds everyone why he became famous in the first place. That's why fans keep getting pulled back in. Because underneath all the chaos, there's still a fighter talented enough to become one of boxing's biggest stars. But if Ryan can't eventually find peace outside the ring, none of the fame, money, or championships will ever truly save him. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we break down the rise, downfall, controversies, and hidden stories behind the internet's biggest celebrities and athletes every single week. And trust me, the next story is even crazier.